When people who play villains on TV are always just like, I feel like I need to show myself petting a puppy to make people understand that that's not me. I feel like that sometimes with Eonagris, because I'm just like, man, I'm gonna sound like such an asshole every time I open my mouth. I need to like make my profile picture me petting a puppy or something.
Yeah, I might have to do that with Archon.
Yeah.
Really,
That would
really, I'm a good guy.
that would be awesome.
All right, welcome to the stream, everybody. We're going to get kicked off. We got most of our players. We're still waiting on just a couple, the usuals who are late. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So we'll start with the weekly recap, which I believe PB wrote up for us. She can either read that or just give us a general rundown from her memory. And then we will lead into a flashback scene with Jarrel, who's either going to give us a flashback or a campfire story. I wasn't sure which one, but he'll give us that. And then we will jump back into the action of Nightstone that has been savaged by some giants. So, all right, let's hear our recap from PB as people are joining in and getting settled in.
All right. So I couldn't remember what log this was, if it was number 3 or number 4. So I wrote both. Well, that it was log 3 and 4. So on the title, that doesn't matter to anybody listening, but to you guys who read them, I don't know if it's 3 or 4. Anyway, so we were able to drive off the goblins from this abandoned town. After searching the goblins, it seems as though they were looting anything and everything they could get their hands on. After investigating the boulders littering the ruined town, I made the worrying discovery that these rocks fell straight from above. I thought maybe giants threw them, but if it came from above, this is much more dangerous than just some regular giants. It explains why I didn't find any siege unit tracks or those of even giants. We drew the drawbridge and slept in the broken temple to restore the energy spent on fighting the goblins who swore their revenge on us and or the town. In the morning, we decided to create a path over to the keep across the broken bridge. After an hour of construction, we made our way over, finding the place in ruins. It appears whatever attacked Nightstone hit the keep the hardest. After the team wandered around the outside of the keep, we ventured inside where we encountered 4 guards and the body of the late Lady Valrosa. It appears that our mission here has hit a wall. The guards, Sidiri, Hunlar, Kalen, Torum, and Alara, stayed here in hopes of digging out the dead body of Lady Valrosa rather than protecting the town proper or leaving the rest of their people to protect them from the dangers of the wilds. The idiots didn't even realize that the town they presumably swore to protect was being ransacked by a horde of goblins. Absolutely useless. They did inform us of what attacked and how. At least they aren't as blind as they are deaf and stupid. A floating castle came and attacked the town from above, dropping the boulders all over, but concentrated their efforts mainly on the keep. Once the town was in enough of a disarray, a couple of giants descended from the floating castle and picked up the Nightstone right from the town center. The Nightstone is an artifact so old and so complex that no one knows what it is, does, or what it's supposed to do. Seems like the most idiotic thing to have as a town centerpiece, but the humans in charge here don't seem to be the brightest. Now, we are left with a choice. We can either go and speak to the elves of the Ardeep Forest, or we go help the townspeople who migrated to some caves northwest of town, hoping that those guards who left with them aren't as incompetent as the ones they left here. My vote is always with the people. The Ardeep elves can wait. Hopefully those leading the townspeople weren't stupid enough to choose a cave system hidden in the forest near the elves. If so, we may get to meet the Ardeep elves as all the same. Scene.
Awesome, nice job. So yeah, that catches us up, and eventually we will be posting those recaps that have been written out by our players in a spot where everybody can go back and take a look at them. You can always go back and watch the videos from the DM side of things. Those are on the YouTube channel, and now I've been getting the VODs in Twitch, so you can start watching those, or you can watch the player perspectives. MC Colonel has been posting his perspective, so you can see it from a player's perspective. All right, so we're only missing the one. We're gonna go ahead. We're just missing Greybeard mostly. He'll probably be here any moment. But let's go ahead and move over to one of the things we wanted to do to bring a little bit more depth to the characters was to provide another what we call the flashback scene or the sitting around the campfire scene, where a character tells a story and hopefully gives us some insight into that character a little bit. And this week is Jarrel is up, and he's going to give us a scene real quick. So you're up.
When I first joined this band of misfits, we had an unsuccessful endeavor trying to locate an heirloom. It had been stolen from a prominent baron and baroness while in Waterdeep, and was alleged that it was stolen by a brigand named Aila. As we investigated, all the signs were present that the heirloom was never stolen, but had been given to the Baron's mistress. Aila, while clever, was clearly of a lesser caliber of thief than could pull off this kind of heist. I tried to sway the group to this obvious conclusion, but it was of no use, instead convincing themselves that the simple and charismatic Aila had masterminded this complicated scheme. After looking foolish in front of the Baroness when it became irrefutable that Aila was not responsible, the party spent another week chasing their tails until they finally saw the obvious. We shared this knowledge with the Baroness, who took care of things from there. Later, at the beginning of another job, we were camping in the wilderness for a night when I regaled them with a story. When I was in Heliogabalus, learning my archaeological trade, an expedition was made to a newly discovered ruin in the hills north of Ironspur. Our group was 6 in total, including our instructor, who was a powerful and experienced wizard. We descended down a series of caves and collapsed tunnels, excavating as we went, disarming traps, until we came to a cavernous area. At the end of the tunnel leading to this cavern, a cartouche was mounted in the wall on each side of the tunnel. One was clearly a warning. The other would take some time to study. I told the group to hold while I studied the cartouche some more. They ignored me. To the left in the cavern were a series of levers. To the right, there were a series of pulleys. In the center was a mechanism I had never seen before, and carved into the floor were symbols and glyphs. As I studied the cartouche, the rest of the group went ahead to fiddle with these things that they knew nothing about. Everyone died. As the floor collapsed, poison arrow traps were shot and blades found purchase. After deciphering the cartouche, a short time later, I successfully navigated these traps and discovered the long-lost treasure of the Mabinogians. Teagray was enthralled by this story.
Oh my god, that was amazeballs.
He would say in excitement. Were you a hero at the university? Greybeard was equally digesting it, asking, did you get any of that loot? I admit, I was a little exasperated, though I knew these questions were coming. No, there was no history or treasure. There was no Mabinogians or ruin. I waved my hand emphatically. It was a metaphor, or simile. Your language confuses me, I said, standing. I looked at both of them, and in turn to the rest of the group gathered around the fire. Don't complicate things by overlooking the obvious, I said matter of fact, and walked away into the darkness to meditate.
Nicely done. With a nice assist from Teagray in there. So that was awesome. Yeah, you've earned your inspiration for tonight, so you can mark that down on your character sheet.
Oh, sweet.
That will give you taking an advantage on any type of combat or skill check roll you wish. So that was cool. All right, so let's bring her back in. I had the character sheet up so people could take a look at the characters. Let's go ahead and get us back. You can see we're in Nightstone, still just south of Waterdeep, but let's move us to the correct map. Put our players back into Nightstone.
And we all leveled up.
And you are all level 2, but we're going to take care of that real quick here in just a sec also.
Sweet.
As I zoom out and get to the right spot. So we pick up... oh, actually, can you see anything? Let's see. Let me... What I might do is I'm going to give you control. Just a second. We have a guest that's watching, but I bet they won't be able to see the map unless I give them a token. So let me do that.
We're still down in the ruin thing, right?
Yeah, we should be. With I think
Okay.
just one person in the is out in the courtyard, I believe. All right, so I'll put that there, which I think will allow you to see, and then
I think it must be Teagray that's outside.
Yeah,
I think-
I'm on the causeway.
yeah. Let me just finish one little quick thing.
Can you guys hear the traffic outside?
Only now that you pointed it out.
Oh, amazing.
I heard a little bit of a hum, but nothing much.
All right, so we pick back up in our courtyard here. Remember, it is the morning. Just to remind everybody, it is the morning of the 4th day of the first 10-day of Flame Rule. So, and we are talking to the guards who are standing around Lady Velrosa's body and have just been talking to the group and informing them of what information they had. And we, Armel has agreed to say some burial rites for Lady Velrosa, who has died in the giant attack, and the guards have deferred to him and are helping with gathering certain items of Lady Velrosa from around the keep, and they're going to go ahead and carry the body across the courtyard and then allow Armel to do kind of a ceremony, and then they're going to place Lady Velrosa in the crypt, which is in the graveyard part of Nightstone. So let's go ahead and I'm going to move everybody back over to the map because we're just going to kind of cut to that. This map is so big, so it makes moving people around crazy, but give me just a sec. I can barely see everybody. We missing anybody? Bring the... All right. Let me zoom back in now that I can see. Do we get them? All right, so yeah, Aila, Greybeard. No, that's a guard. Missing Teagray. Where is Teagray?
I'm way up at the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
You
All right,
booked
you're already
it.
up there. All right, yeah, so you guys
Yeah.
can move your characters now, and you can move them up there. So basically what we're seeing is two of the guards are carrying precious items from Lady Velrosa's manor, the keep that she owned there, and two of them are carrying, like on a stretcher with a shroud covered over it, is Lady Velrosa's body, and you make it across the makeshift causeway with no problem. And then they place the body up near, if everybody moves up towards the crypt, they're going to place it just outside of the crypt to allow Armel to have a little ceremony here. So we can move everybody up there real quick.
This is the crypt here.
Yeah, there should be a white little small stone building right inside the first graveyard.
Okay, I'm assuming it's this one here then.
All right, so we got everybody up there. We can get rid of the wagon thing I drew here. Okay. While we're waiting, actually what ends up happening is Armel, we see him, he actually has to leave the keep a moment as he goes up to where the drawbridge is, and you guys are going to open the drawbridge for him. And he's looking around and he sees a tree out in the distance, not more than maybe a football field's away, a couple 100 yards. And he walks up to a tree, and we can see him grab a branch, and he brings it back, and then everybody's sitting outside the crypt waiting. He's carving some letters of Ogun and druidic symbols on this branch. That's basically an aspen branch. Part of the ritual is for him to, he measures the body to make sure with this ritual branch that he is creating, to make sure that it's going to fit into the burial site. Inside the crypt is a stone kind of stand, and on it is two coffins. One is Lady Velrosa's husband, who has died a couple years back, and then there's the empty one, which they're going to be placing Lady Velrosa in. While he's carving those symbols onto the aspen branch, the guards are placing objects of importance and objects of value that were Lady Velrosa's with her body, and placing them in the crypt alongside where they're going to lay her to rest. And then Armel kind of kneels down next to her and begins to whisper in her ear, and basically is kind of guiding Velrosa's spirit to peace. It's just a pretty standard, more of a nature type funeral than it is any one of the specific Forgotten Realm gods. And then they pick up the body and they move her and place her into the crypt, into the coffin, and place the stone lid onto the coffin. And this all probably takes about an hour's amount of time. And then we come up from the crypt. And now Lady Velrosa has been laid to rest. And as you guys are standing there, the guards, which Sidiri starts talking to them and says, they're kind of standing a little bit off from where you guys are, so you guys can be wherever you want to be. I'm just going to put them here next to the inn real quick. And you can hear them saying, they're not being quiet or anything, but Sidiri is kind of starting to take command. And she says, all right, we're gonna post watch. We're going to put one of us every 4 hours up on the keep. The keep tower is the best way for us to see anybody that's coming towards this town. And the other three of us, we're going to go ahead and start grabbing these bodies. And first, we're going to find any of the townspeople that are, and they're not really talking to you guys. She's kind of like addressing them. They're standing in a line, and she's almost like a sergeant talking to, a group of a rank and file. And she's like, we're going to bring those of us that aren't on watch are going to go ahead and get the bodies of the townsfolk, and we're going to go ahead and bring them to the north side of Nightstone, where we will place them, and then we'll begin to we'll keep them, and hopefully that the villagers, when they get back, or the townspeople when they get back, we can hold funerals for the different family members that may be coming back, and we can start to dig some of those graves. We're also, once we have all of the townspeople that we can find in the village that have died, all the bodies, and there's a bunch of guards that they also need to get out of the guards barracks that have died. Then she says, we're gonna grab all these filthy goblins and these wargs. We're gonna take them out to the east side, or actually out to the west side of town here, and we're gonna just throw them into a big pile and burn them outside of town, though. And so you can kind of tell that that's what they're gonna do. And Sidiri's like, all right, Kaylin, you've got first watch for 4 hours. You go ahead and get up to the top of the tower. let us know if anything's coming, standard signals. And he kind of salutes and he runs off. And he's going to go sit on the top of the tower. And then these three begin to start, they're going to go through the buildings and start looking for bodies. So while they're saying that and doing that, what would the group like to do?
So I will, Jarrel will ask, what is the goal of keeping watch? If something were to approach the town, what could you possibly do to repel the danger? You are 4.
Correct, but we can't just leave the town unattended, and we don't want to just be out here grabbing bodies and then something attack while we don't know what's coming. Or the townsfolk might be coming, so we might need to know when to lower the drawbridge. It always seems like a better idea to have somebody on watch than to not have anybody on watch.
I understand. Perhaps it would be more feasible to find where the townsfolk went, because if they were to come back, you would be in the same situation, except now they are in danger.
Right. Well, we think Sidiri, who you're speaking to, who seems to be the leader of the guards at this point, she's like, well, I expect them to be back any day now. It's only been 2 days, and typically they would probably wait a couple of days before trying to venture back to see if any danger has passed. Something like this has really never happened, so I don't expect them to come racing back right away. So it's better for us to just get the town ready, keep the drawbridge up, and get ready for their arrival. And if they don't arrive in the next day or so, then yeah, I think what we will do is we'll send one of us out to go and start looking for them to see if they made it to the caves, or if they went further, or if they went somewhere else.
How about we become helpful and go look for them?
You certainly could.
We can speed this process up for you.
So I have a character question.
Yeah, she's not, and she's like, yeah, that could be a great idea. We would be happy for you to go look for them.
So an out-of-character question. When we ended the last session, I know we were talking about what some of our options were. Did we ever decide on anything, or were we going to come back to the group and try and have a discussion?
You guys had not decided yet. And for you guys to actually attain your second level, you need at least a day of doing, of contemplation. Like the way I look at it as far as the roleplay way, the melee type characters or the fighting type characters need to spend a day of kind of sparring with each other, or sparring, doing manual stuff, and that would reflect them actually gaining some knowledge or gaining something new that they didn't have. And for those that are more of the academics, so our druid and our mage would spend the day either in contemplation or studying books that they had, or even I was thinking what Teagray could be studying in the library to actually attain your second level. Because we need to do something. I mean, that's even probably not enough in reality, but we need to do at least something to mark the occasion of you guys going from first level to second level and gaining some new ability, some new power. So keep that in mind in your plans.
Maybe we could spend. So you said it was morning, right?
Yeah, after the funeral part now, we're probably getting late morning. We're starting to get close to afternoon. Well, like the noon time.
So
10:30, 11ish.
All right. So is the whole group around us, or are we spread out?
We're all here.
Looks like you're all there. Yeah.
Okay. So Jarrel suggests perhaps I am in need of of meditation. Perhaps we can assist the guards through the day, shadow them, maybe have an exchange of knowledge as a way of keeping ourselves sharp, and stay the night just to make sure everything's settled, and then we can decide and discuss what to do overnight, and have a decision in the morning of what direction we want to go.
Works for me. I'll spend the time in the library.
Sounds great.
Hey, there he is.
There he is. So does that sound good to the group? I kind of had planned like a little training day montage part here, if that's what you guys are agreeing to do.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going for. Like
Okay.
we could train
Yeah.
with the guards, and we can impart some stuff to them. They can impart some stuff to us, basically leveling up.
Yeah, let's set that up then. Okay, so our barbarian friend, for you to typically gain your next level, and I think what'll happen with just mechanics wise, going from first to second isn't that big a deal. That's why it's only really a day. Maybe second to third might be a 2-day thing, and then third to fourth, it just gets exponentially harder as you're getting those bigger and better abilities to kind of show that you're gaining powers. So what I was thinking, just as our montage, we can see, throughout the day, any of you would help with some of the bodies, and that gives you that your hit point increase and because you're getting your physical workout a little bit, and it doesn't have to be more than just a few hours because it's not going to take long to gather all the bodies. And then with our barbarian, he's typically, he kind of challenges our fighter to wrestling, and then maybe challenges, our ranger to a throwing contest or a crossbow shooting contest. And so that happens throughout the day. And between, them kind of sparring, it's almost like you're learning something new because you're having to fight somebody and see their style. So you're picking something up or you're learning something new about yourself. I assume the monk more of a meditation and maybe does more kind of stylized kata stuff. But also could be part of the wrestling or hand-to-hand combat with some of the more melee types. And maybe you're learning something from that and you're also teaching them something at that same time. And then our ranger and druid at some point throughout this day also, I imagine that they have a discussion maybe just outside the walls, out here near the trees, kind of a little bit away from man-made objects and kind of reattuning themselves to nature. And this is a good chance for Ian to start to understand more of the magical nature that she's starting to get with her experience. And then our druid Armel is, by teaching somebody, learning something more about his connection to nature and those things that are around him. And it wouldn't be something where they're too far away from the keep. Maybe they're just out here in the field, out near some trees. There's trees all around, not too far off, even though the map doesn't really show it too well. Probably within a few 100 yards, you're surrounded by trees, so they would be able to kind of work together there. And then our wizard would probably, I think the library is the most significant place where he could learn stuff. But also maybe throughout the day you have talks with our druid, so you're learning a little bit about druidic magic, and that might give you an insight to, although you can't do those things, maybe it gives you kind of an idea of about something wizardry, wizardly wise, that would kind of also indicate why you're learning new things. And maybe we'll even say for you, if you're picking up a new spell, or I don't remember how many you get, but maybe that's stuff you find in the keep, and that's how you pick them up and write them into your spell book. You happen to find them in the library.
Yeah, both of my new spells are abjuration spells, so they're more defensive protection stuff.
Cool. And anybody can add anything to that RP-wise if they want. Greybeard, if there's anything you want to add to that RP-wise to say, what are you doing today that kind of signifies you learning your new abilities, or you getting tougher today? Your hit points have increased a little bit. If there's anything you want to add to that, go ahead.
Like maybe at some point, reckless attack. I just sort of attack everyone all at once.
Yeah. You take them all on at one time, and everybody, all the melee people come at you, and even the guards will help out here and there, and you get a good workout from being attacked from all kinds of different areas and being able to work on that. So that's good. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's pretty good. Maybe the whole danger sense thing. Maybe the ranger teaches me, hey, look, attacks can come from all sides or something, and maybe I pick something up from her.
Okay, yeah, great. Perfect. And let's move to our monk. Anything RP you want to add to your day?
Yeah, so I'm going to just kind of work with one of the guards through the day and just kind of teach him or her, something of the martial skills. And as I'm teaching the skills to that person, I'm identifying some things that I might be able to change and do differently, or find something new in how I'm teaching it that I learn, and kind of do a Karate Kid montage scene. Just doing the training, and then after I'm done the training for maybe 2 or 3 hours, I'll go and meditate for another couple hours, just to kind of think about the things that I just learned in teaching somebody else something.
Okay, great, perfect. Our ranger, anything you want to add narrative wise to your day?
I head out with, I guess, Armel, or without Armel, it doesn't matter, to the tree I feel the most comfortable getting as far as I can, and closest to the forest, and I just sit there, sort of cross-legged, sitting down with my legs crossed, with my bow on my lap, looking out into the forest and really just concentrating on what I'm seeing. If I catch any creatures in my vision, I concentrate on them and try and identify where they are, even when they're outside of my line of sight. And when Greybeard comes up to me and asks us to attack him, when I teach him, hey, check your 6, I test out doing the same thing, using my energy and projecting it through my arrow to create a different effect that's just not an arrow. And in this case, for it to sort of explode into almost a net, where I could catch somebody and stop them from moving. And so that's what I practice.
Yeah, cool. And are you going to be getting an animal companion at some point?
No.
Oh, you're not going that route?
No, I'm not going Beastmaster.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say that you might also see while you're in the woods the glimpse, of that animal, but it just kind of it's a fleeting glimpse. But you're not going Beastmaster. So okay, well, yeah, all the bow skills work out perfectly. Okay, great. And even a couple of the guards, will do some ask you about target practice or better ways to be more accurate with firing bows, and they'll listen to your pointers and your tips on archery and such.
Yeah, and I go like full on teacher mode, like I would back in the village, teaching other guards that.
Okay. Our mage, anything you want to add narrative to your day of reading dusty books?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm going to spend most of the day up in the library, really going over this new defensive stuff that I found.
Okay. And then Armel, anything you want to add narrative to your druidic day?
It would appear that I can now change shape into an animal form. So if the ranger would like some practice tracking an animal in the forest, I can help with that. Or if Greybeard's up for it, I can wrestle with him as a brown bear.
Rat. castle a bear.
I'm sure that's on his bucket list. All right, awesome. All right, so that's going to lead us through the day and towards the end of the day. Now, what's happened is all the bodies have been gathered as far as the villagers, and you've had to move some of these rocks to get to them, and some of them there wasn't really much to bring back up to the northern side. It's been pretty gruesome. So you're having that day of training, you're having that exercise, but you're also seeing some pretty grisly sights, and there's a lot of time to contemplate the idea of what if this had been my village and giants have just flown over and just started dropping rocks, or what if it had been water deep, or what if we had just been camping on the side of the road and they dropped these rocks on us, out at the middle of the night or whatever. So it really is a chance for you to contemplate the power and destructive ability that these giants that have attacked this town have, and kind of sits with you a little bit as far as you're moving bodies and the grisly remains. The goblins are just goblins. You've seen them 100 times. You've fought them before. And we're going to move all the bodies, and they're going to all get burned out to the west of town, and they just threw all them together. Everybody's been searched. All that stuff has been doled out. There's no weapons or anything on them. It's just bodies. And so there's a burning... go ahead.
We're helping with the bodies of the villagers or the townspeople, right?
Yeah, you certainly can. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Jarrel wants to.
Yeah. No.
So he'll find
and they'll
time
need help. Yeah, there's help. The guard changes a couple times throughout the day. As I just get rid of some of these bodies that are here. Give me just a second. I think that's all of them. Yeah. So the guard changes out a couple times. And just before late dinner time, you guys have maybe had a meal and you've just finished up. All the bodies have been taken care of. The guards are kind of sitting around. The ones that are not on duty, there's one at watch, and two of them they're hanging out by the gate mostly and just conversing with each other. The gate is raised if everybody's back into the town at this point towards the dinner time. And you hear a whistle from the tower. Where are you guys at just after you're eating dinner, or where would you guys eat dinner at?
So would we have had the opportunity to talk as a group about what we want to do?
Yes, and you can take that now as well. Let's say you sit down to eat, and you're gonna
before dinner,
have plenty of time.
Or are we gonna wait till after dinner to do that?
You can either's fine. Whatever the group wants to do. You guys tell me.
If you want to have a conversation, probably as we were eating, right? Like once we finally congregated in one spot again, that would be the best time, I would think.
Okay. So how long would we have time to have that conversation as we're eating before that whistle?
Oh, you guys can eat for an hour if you want. Up to.
Okay.
It'll happen after you guys are just finishing eating. So however long you want to take.
All right. So let's where do we want? Don't really have the one. Well, I guess we could have the conversation here. So Jarrel kind of suggests to the group that we should determine what our course of action is going to be in the morning. If we're going to remain here to help protect the town, or if we're going to go out in search of the townspeople in the caves, or if we're going to go seek out the elf. Can't remember what her name was.
Orana Swiftwater.
That's the one. Yeah, Orana.
I'd be all for finding the townspeople, getting them back here.
I vote for that.
I also agree.
You point, I'll go.
As useless as I think these guards are, it's not difficult to protect a fortress
Okay. So I guess we've, I guess that answers that. So I guess in the morning we're gonna to go searching for the caves, or that's what we decided, I guess.
Well, they said a day and a half, right? Like within the next day and a half, they should be returning.
Well, they don't know. That's just, they're assuming.
So I would say today is that day, right? And tomorrow is the half. So I would say let's just wait today and tomorrow. Let's go. Or maybe that's half a day if you want to wait.
Like in the morning or the next morning?
Not tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, whatever you guys want.
And where are you guys at while this discussion's happening? While you're all sitting around, where are you actually eating at?
I mean, it would probably make more sense for us to do it up. Like, how much space is in the tower? Is there enough for us to all be up there?
The keep?
No, up by the drawbridge or north of the town.
Well, yeah, 5 foot squares. So, I mean, those towers are probably just about 10 feet by 10 feet.
All right, so we could
the guards are kind of sitting, leaning up against the outside walls and just having a discussion. You know, just talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I would rather eat somewhere where there's grass under me.
Oh, all right. So I was thinking maybe we could keep watch out the tower while we're eating and discussing.
Nah, the incompetent guards have that down.
All right, then probably closer to the windmill if you're looking for grass. I don't think there's a point for us to go down to the keep.
I would say
Pretty
somewhere
drafty.
here would be nice.
Where? Oh, by the windmill?
No, the keep. It's got big holes in it.
So I guess like maybe down here.
All right, I'll move Aila down there.
Actually, probably this would probably be the best
somewhere over here.
place, so that
Closer
we're
to the
within
top.
earshot of the guards.
Or an eye shot at least.
Yeah.
I bring a chair from the inn.
You go back into the inn.
Just to grab a chair if we're going to be sitting in the grass and having our
All right.
meal.
Once you step into the inn, give me a perception check.
Ah, my good skill.
Oh yeah, nailed it.
It's a persuasion check.
Oh dang it!
Wrong one.
Oops. That is my old days.
I mean, you could take.
Well,
the
what's the
roll,
roll?
doesn't
Yeah,
matter,
what's your roll
perception.
plus your... What would be your perception modifier?
It would be -1. So either of those
exactly.
would
It'd have been
be.
a 17. Yeah.
It's
All right,
exactly
so yeah,
the
you
same.
grab a chair and you head back down and kind of waddle back down, and you have a chair with you sitting next to everybody in the grass. And then as you guys are finishing eating and having your discussion about what you were going to do, you guys can still see the guards up near the drawbridge tower, but you hear the whistle from the keep. Well, that's where the guard is, up on top of the keep. And he hears a whistle, and then the other guards they move a little bit closer, and then they're looking up at that guy that's up there on watch now. And the guy up on the keep is flashing hand signals to Sidari, who's down by the keep, or down by the drawbridge. Sidiri.
I look over to them. I'm very alarmed.
So I look at the guard. Can I determine what his hand signals mean?
Nope. You're
No. Okay.
No. It looks like it's something that they have come up with or have used as guards of the town. It's something, just something they've made up.
All right. Can we tell if it's like if the guy's freaking out or just?
Nope. Pretty calm.
Okay. Perhaps the villagers approach.
Yeah,
So
and
I
then you
guess
start to see two of the guards. They go into the drawbridge area, and you start hearing slowly the drawbridge is starting to lower. And Sidiri is standing here in the middle.
All right.
Definitely want to investigate that out.
Yeah. So I guess we kind of wrap up what we were talking. I guess, is everybody down with us or on the lawn, or are we split up? I
I'm
assume
moving
we
to
all-
the drawbridge at this point.
Yeah.
I
I
was with
see-
you.
Sit on a rock.
Okay. All right. So I guess we just kind of break the meal and break whatever discussion we were having. I think we've got an idea what we're doing, and then kind of head up there or I do,
Okay.
to see what's going on.
Yep. Aila will follow. All right. So you still hear the bridge kind of lowering. Sidiri is kind of looking out, watching the bridge go down, waiting expectantly.
All right, and I ask who approaches.
She says, Torum just sent the sign. Says one person approaches from the north, but he can't quite tell who or what it is. But it's only one.
Okay.
And
So I
put it
guess
out here.
so the guys that open the drawbridge, are they in the tower, or are they still on the? I guess I can probably move myself. Are they? I guess they're in the towers.
Yeah, they're working the mechanisms inside the
Oh, okay.
tower buildings, and that's lowering the drawbridge. And then Sidiri's standing here.
All right. Can you see them from there?
It's on the map now, so yeah, the person seems to be coming down from the north side and is heading towards the drawbridge. And it is the sun has just started to set, so it is kind of a shadowy figure. You're not getting a lot of detail, but it's definitely humanoid. Walking on 2 feet, and it's just walking, kind of not fast, not running, but walking towards you guys, towards the drawbridge.
All right. Do you recognize who that is, or can you see them?
Yes, Sidiri moves, and she can't. The drawbridge is down now, and it's still, because it's now the sun has gone down. It's gotten dark enough that you can't quite see. It's still a humanoid person walking this way, normal pace. She yells out to Alara to start lighting torches on the tower. And so Alara starts lighting up torches here at the drawbridge so that we get some light around the drawbridge.
All right, so I suggest to Sidiri. Am I saying that right? Sidiri?
Yes, Sidiri. Yep.
So I suggest to Sidiri that until you can identify who that person is, that perhaps they should raise the drawbridge by half and stand watch in the towers to identify.
She looks at you. She's like, "Well, it's just one. I mean, we have like 8 people here."
In the back, you just hear Ian go, "Incompetent."
Nice.
There is light here now from torches right here too. Now, you guys might have a better chance of seeing the person.
I'm not
than
walking out to the drawbridge yet, and I wouldn't know who they look like, so there's no point in me looking out. So I don't know who they are. So, I'm going to insist that it would be prudent to at least raise the bridge by half and parlay from the bridge rather than just let anybody come out, because we don't know who that person could be. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 10. One could be powerful enough to take us all out.
As he's saying this, I enter the guard tower and I climb up it.
Okay. Yeah, so she tells okay, she turns to Alara and Kaylin, and she says, "Go ahead and man the winches again. If I yell, raise this bridge." And she just kind of stands here.
I ask if would you be able to recognize everyone from this town?
Oh yeah, yes, I would be able to recognize anybody that lived in this town.
Okay.
And then go ahead and give me a perception check, Ian, as you get to the top of the tower.
Perception, where it is.
Well, there you go. Nice roll. Always complaining about low rolls.
No
I mean,
kidding.
it's still a 14.
You can see that it's a human, short brown hair, and seems to be wounded. That's why they're walking a little bit slower, and does appear to have the same guard uniform that Sidiri and the other 4 are wearing. And do you see it on the map now? I put him out by the little the big north-south thing.
Oh, I can't see that far, but I will keep that in mind.
Oh, let me... Oh, yeah. Go ahead and put yourself out. I realize you're in the tower, but go ahead and put yourself out on the drawbridge so you get a better view. But we know you're on the tower.
Okay.
So that's what you see.
Is there a guard below me?
Yeah, you see Sidiri's kind of standing on the very first part of the wood in the bridge, and there's one guard that's down inside the tower that you climbed, and you saw the other guard that was still in the tower to the south of you.
I look down. Well, I call to Sidiri. Well, no, not even Sidiri. I don't care for her that much. I look down at the guard in my tower, and I'm just like, it looks like one of you, but injured.
Okay. And he yells. Well, he rushes out and tells Sidiri, and Sidiri and which one's gonna go? Sidiri and Kaylin will go out and help the guy, meet him kind of this way, and then help him the rest of the way in.
All right, and I'll stand by the drawbridge while they do that.
And this one kind of stands with you. And they make it to the drawbridge. Let's bring them in. And yeah, you can see as everybody can see now as they're coming in the light. And it's not real dark yet, but it's starting to get dark. That he's been wounded. It looks like he's been shot, and he's got an arrow that's kind of sticking out of his shoulder, but it looks like he might have broke the point off, but he hasn't actually pulled the bolt out. There's a lot of blood down the front of his uniform, and you don't see any weapons on him. He looks really disheveled, and they're kind of just helping him in, shoulder to shoulder, and they're bringing him in. And he as he walks in and walks by you guys, he's just like, you hear him muttering, "Thirsty, really thirsty." And so one of the guards runs off into the inn to get something for him to drink, and then they kind of just set him down here outside. And then the other 2 guards start raising the drawbridge again.
I'll wave to.
I'll approach and see if I can do anything about his wounds.
Yeah, and I'll help the guards raise the drawbridge.
Okay, so Sidiri will. So it's raising up, and yeah, Armel, you see, you can do a medicine check. Go ahead and just give us a medicine roll. Yeah, you're able to pull the arrow out. You recognize it as immediately that it's a goblin arrow, similar to the arrows that you've seen all strewn around as you guys were in a pitched battle with the goblins. And you're able to go ahead and stop the bleeding, dress the wound. They bring him some water and a little bit of bread. And they have him sitting here. And they're letting him kind of catch his breath and, drink some water and shove some food down his face while they're sitting here. And the bridge is slowly being raised. And just a few minutes go by. You guys kind of give them time to get that down. And then Sideri looks at him and says, well, actually, Sideri's standing as he's eating and drinking water. She's kind of standing near who's ever right there in earshot and says, "This is Gillen Waite. He's one of the guards that went with the townspeople. We saw him leave when the attack happened. We assumed he went to the caves north with the townsfolk."
Then why is he here?
You ask him that?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Because this is my home. Okay. He kind of looks at you and he's very thankful. He's with pleading eyes, or with really kind of pain-filled eyes from having to make it back. And he's like, I was with the townsfolk. We made it to the caves, but the caves, them horrible, horrible caves. And he kind of stutters out a little bit. He kind of goes vacant for a moment. And then he's...
More goblins? I ask.
Says, yeah, there's goblins and more. A lot of them. We didn't know they were in those caves. We just walked right in. We just blundered in and didn't even know. But everybody was so scared of rocks falling from the sky that nobody was really paying attention. I ran for it and I got away, but I was shot. And I don't even know if they're following me or what. But I just kept walking. I just kept going as far as I could to get back.
And your people?
Captured by the goblins.
I grab up my axe and start heading that direction.
All right, you going to have somebody lower the bridge for you?
Whoa.
Nope, right off the bridge.
If they don't, I guess I jump. Unless somebody stops me like, hey, whoa, that kind of thing.
Yeah, whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
whoa.
No, let's see where this goes.
No.
I love you, Teagray.
The forest, it's dangerous at night, dwarf.
He says the Gillen, so the Gilan for anybody writing it down, Gillen Waite, Wayte. He's like, it's not just goblins either. There's other things in there, big. I don't know what they were, but they were big and mean.
God, these are the worst guards in the world.
How big is big?
Twice your height, twice your width.
Take that at face value. Goblin.
What was the biggest fish you caught?
He's puzzled. I don't know if I've ever caught a fish. Not a fisherman. I'm a town guard.
Oh, these guards are my favorite people.
The goblins are my favorite people.
Jarrel just grunts. So Greybeard, what's Greybeard doing?
Someone said, whoa, so I stopped.
Okay.
Whoa.
You were going out the drawbridge? Or trying to?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
and
where I was headed.
Kalen's like, Kalen pulled his sword. He's like, yeah, let's go with Greybeard. Let's go get our people back. And Sideri's kind of like with you guys, just settle down, just slow down. We've already had enough problems here. Let's think this through.
We need more information before we barge in. Otherwise, we'll end up just like the townspeople.
Jarrel just kind of leans up against the wall and cross his arms and just watches.
How far are these caves from the town?
Said we tried to go to the first caves, but they had just been caved in so that we couldn't get into them. So we went a little further north. I would say about 3 miles north is where we met up with the goblin group, and they dragged most of them back in, the townspeople in, and I escaped.
So how long ago was this?
A day ago.
And you're just returning now?
Yeah, he was shot, and they left him for dead, and then he woke. Basically kind of like when you guys go to 0, and then you wake an hour later, and then get up, and then he started coming back here.
Did you meet with these goblins before the cave?
Just outside of them.
And how many were there?
Oh, I don't know, 20, 40, 50.
Was the first cave you came to connected to the second cave you went to?
I don't know. We didn't go in it. The entrance that we knew of was blocked.
I take out a piece of paper and using the stuff I got last session, and I started trying to draw out a picture of large things I would know, large monsters like orcs and I guess goblinoids that would be large, that would sort of match his description.
Okay.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's like just really stupid or if he's trying to deceive us?
You certainly can roll an insight check.
He's really stupid. I'm just gonna go.
Oh, of that I'm pretty sure.
I love how you guys just assume stuff.
We're PCs. That's what we do.
What's the current time right now?
Sun has set. You have 2
8,
torches
9
on the
p.m.
towers, so it's probably, it's probably like 7 or 8, maybe getting on to 8:30ish.
We're in fall, right? Or fallish equivalent season?
Flame Rule, I believe, is a summer.
I
it'd probably
contend.
Be closer to like 9 o'clock, wouldn't it? 9 or 10?
I would say 8:39.
Okay.
I contend that right now is the best time for us to go. We have many party members that can see at night. Our monk fights best at night, and that gives us the element of surprise.
But so do goblins.
We would also risk being exhausted because we'd be going into a fight without rest because we've been training all day.
And while you're talking, he points at one of the pictures you've drawn, Ian, and it's the picture of an ogre.
Oh, it's a picture of an ogre. All right, sweet. And
My
how many did you say there were?
What was the
Several?
question?
How many did he say there were? Are the ogres that he saw?
He's
Several?
not sure of the number.
The
More
insight
than
check,
one.
did that reveal anything?
Yeah, insight check reveals that he's being truthful. You're not seeing any deceit coming from him. You can tell that he's somebody who was near the brink of death and has barely struggled back from it.
All right,
Could
so
you
I
show us
deal.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna yell over to Armel to check him for a concussion.
No, he's fine.
Okay.
Man's obviously shaken. Half of his friends have been slain right in front of him.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little bit of compassion would go a long way.
I am all for compassion,
Snap.
but when you're not sure if there's 20, 40, or 50 of something, perhaps
I
something got
asked-
scrambled.
And now you
I
hear
also-
another whistle from the keep.
Oh shit.
And he's got a torch held up, and he's using hand signals in front of the torch so that Sideri can see him.
As soon as I
Jeez.
noticed that, I run back up to the guard tower.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and put yourself on the drawbridge so that you can kind of see outside. And Sideri's watching the hand signals, and she has a very quizzical look on her face, and she's like, he says 7 approach on horseback coming from the south.
From the south.
Timing is everything.
7 of what?
From where we came from? That's south?
Yeah, south would be back along the road.
Alright. Well, I wait until I can see something.
Yeah, and then let me I'll put them on the road here. They're approaching, and you can see them. You kind of get a good look at them by the time. I mean, your vision is only. What's your night vision? How far is it?
Oh God. That's a very, very, very good question, my DM.
That would be on a character sheet that I know you have, right? I think it's like 60 feet.
I don't think that's something I write down. I can look it up though.
Any of the other elves have it on their
Yeah,
sheet?
I have it. Yeah.
What type of elf?
But your
Wood-
drow elf
wood
would
elf.
be
I
differently.
believe it's 60.
60, I think.
Yep, dark
Drow's the
vision
only
60.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 60.
So you see them. Oh, let me go back to my movement thing here. As they approach, I'm just getting them on the map here. There we go. So you see 7 figures on horses. They're walking up the road, not in any hurry. You could see them kind of looking at the keep, and then you see them looking at the smashed tower, and they're riding up towards the drawbridge, which is raised at the moment.
What do they look like?
You can see they're humans, dressed in just regular outdoor kind of gear. They are armed, various weapons on them. You can't quite tell color because now that it's dark, your night vision doesn't actually show you any color. So you're not really. It's all kind of just in grays, and they still are approaching up to the drawbridge.
I yell down at the closest guard and I say,
And actually, too, I put them pretty close, but I'll give you guys time to do stuff before they actually get that close. So whatever the group wants to do, as they're kind of walking up the road towards the drawbridge.
I yell down to the guard and say it's 7 humans on horseback. They seem armed and in regular just outdoor gear.
I'll go up the tower, the other tower, and yell out to them. Friend or foe?
You're going to wait till they get close enough to yell to
they're
them?
not close enough?
Well, I'm waiting to see what the group's going to do while they're still approaching. So I want to give everybody an opportunity to do something before they actually get that close.
Yeah, okay.
So when Jarrel starts to walk away, I like thump him in the arm and I'm like, "That's it. They're humans. They'll never see us coming. Let's sneak out and get them."
I look at Greybeard quizzically, and I'm like, I'm going up the tower. I'm not going outside.
Oh, I'll just follow you then.
Come.
All right.
So I guess Greybeard's going to be up the tower too?
Yeah, Sidiri is up in a tower. Let me get back to the objects layer here. There we go. So I'll put the guards in each of the towers also and then one will stand outside. Aila will stand outside, just waiting. Anybody else before we have these guys approach? All right, so they get into shouting distance. You can kind of see them now where... So go ahead.
Okay. I yell friend or foe.
He looks at you and he says, "Friend of Nightstone, who are you?"
That's a beautiful image, by the way. Just utterly beautiful. A dark elf yelling it from their tower.
We are a protector of Nightstone. Who are you?
He looks at Protector. Seems like there's quite a bit of damage here. You didn't do very good protecting.
So, I'm thinking they're not part of the town. So is...
No, the Sidiri's in the other tower. Never mind.
Okay, so I kind of glance over to...
She's in Ian's tower, and Sidiri whispers to Ian, says, I don't know who these people are. I've never seen them.
All right. I stage whisper over to oh fuck, what is your name? Jarrel. Loud enough so he can hear me, but not loud enough so the guys outside can hear me. And I say, they're not from here. They're not from this town.
And now they're standing right outside of...
There's a rushing lake and rushing river outside of us. They can't hear me.
Yeah, they're just kind of all sitting on their horses. Just outside the gate here, and they're talking to you. So let me just get them in place.
I look at Sidiri and I look at her like, do your job. Speak to these people.
Yeah, okay. So Sidiri's I'm guard Sidiri. What's your name? And the lead horse guy. And actually, go ahead and give me a perception check for the people that are on the tower. Now that they're in the light of the torches at the drawbridge here.
Fuck you. Oh man. I'm rolling great today. Let's do some things, guys.
They're demons. Throw a javelin.
You notice that they're actually dragons. All right, so those are the people that are on the tower? Okay.
I thought you were being serious.
No, check that perception check.
She knows their history and lineage. No. You actually recognize that the lead guy who's talking is actually a half-elf. And the rest are humans. He says, I am Zolkin Alisandar. We're the bounty hunters from Waterdeep. We heard one of our marks is here in town, and we're here to collect. And Sidiri says, somebody's here in our town. Who are you looking for?
I'm not here.
And Greybeard says he's not here. I'm just kidding. We hear you have a dwarf in there. I'm just kidding. Zolkin says, we're here for Kella Darkhope. She's wanted in Waterdeep. Are you harboring this fugitive? You're starting to notice that these are definitely... They wear the clothes kind of like you guys do. Some are armored. Some have bows. Very similar to how your group is. You would almost think a mercenary group, or these are not just townsfolks or merchants or anything. These are definitely people that know their way around weapons.
And what was the name of the person they were looking for?
Killa Darko.
Yeah, Kella Darkhope is the name he gave. He said his name was Zolkin Alisander.
Alisander.
Sidiri kind of looks at you guys like, I don't know of a Kella Darkhope. Are any one of you named Kella Darkhope?
If your name is Killa Darko, could you please raise your hand?
Yeah, if she's wanted, would she really go by this name? Do you have more to go on? Like a description, maybe?
Oh yeah, we know what she looks like.
Considering
And-
there's only 3 females here and you can see 2 of them, and the other one's a bird, I highly doubt she's here.
Figuratively? But like the English way of saying that that woman is a bird.
So he says,
She's a bird. She's got feathers.
Oh, the actual bird.
I think we've established that was racist.
Yeah.
Teagray's super racist. He's an elf.
I was so confused.
yeah, he kind of looks at you and he's like, so are you denying us access to this town?
Yes.
We are denying access to everyone to this town. What has
And what right do you have? Who are you? And he asks for your names.
I just flick him off. I flip him the bird.
You are not in a position to ask our names.
Wait,
However,
where is Sidiri?
Sidiri's on the tower dumbstruck
Being
now
useless.
because normally they would not. I mean, normally they would just let this kind of group in. I mean, groups come to town. But now the way you guys are acting, she's not sure what to do. So she's kind of stopped talking at this point.
Would suggest this is not our town. We should let her take the lead.
I mean, but these are dangerous people walking into an abandoned town with 8 of us.
Well, this town's only been abandoned for a day or 2. If they came from the south, they may not have even known about the attack.
Well, that's not my suggestion. It's that if they're stronger than us, they can very easily murderize us and take over the town.
Is that spoken out loud?
Yeah, obviously there's a conversation happening up on the towers, and Zolkin's just kind of, and he actually starts having a conversation with the guys in the back, and he's like, take down their descriptions. You can kind of hear him say to one of the guys behind him, and one of the guys takes a parchment out, and he's kind of looking up at you guys and writing down something on paper. And Sidiri at this point is looking at Ian. She's like, whatever you want to do.
How far are you willing to go to find this mark?
Well, we have a writ that says we're allowed to chase her to the ends of the earth. She's created many crimes in Waterdeep, so we'll go wherever we need to go to find her.
So Jarrel's gonna kind of stage whisper over to PB that to kind of suggest, or not PB.
I would say the way those towers are, he's going to hear also. So,
oh, all right.
Yeah, you'd have to get down and go over or something.
Told you we should have got him in the dark, Jarrel. I say that quietly.
Perhaps we should see this writ.
Yeah, he pulls out a parchment, and it's in a scroll case, and he takes the top off a scroll case, and he
Oh, that
pulls the
was
scroll out.
kind of said to PB and to
Ew.
Sidiri.
Okay, then he doesn't do that yet.
He
we're
wants
not
Can
gonna be able-
we see your writ?
Yeah, we can't see it from there.
So he pulls it out, and he takes he has a scroll case, and out of the scroll case comes a parchment, and you can kind of see, I mean, you can't read it obviously from right where you are, but you can see it's obviously writing on it. There's obviously a red wax seal at the bottom of it. You can't quite see if there's any marks. It's got a little ribbon thing on it. I mean, it looks like kind of a writ at this range, but you're not sure what it says.
Is the drawbridge down?
No,
No, it's up.
drawbridge is up.
How do I put this? The people of this town have been captured by goblins. If you would like to possibly find this Caladarko, you can accompany us tomorrow morning to go venture and save these people, and there you can find your mark.
All right, you see him turn around on his horse, and he kind of moves closer to these two, and they're having some type of conversation.
The horse is in
And his
distress.
back is kind of to you, and the guys are kind of nodding, and they're having some type of conversation. It goes on for maybe a minute. They're almost ignoring you at this point.
That's fun. I look at Sadiri.
Sadiri's like, she just gives you the shrug. She's like, I have no idea what's going on. She's like, for all I know, rocks are going to start dropping out of the sky again. Fireball.
Confident.
All right, a minute goes by, and without a word, they all turn, and they begin riding back down the road. Not very fast, kind of a trot, but not a run or a gallop.
All right, then.
And they begin to head south again until you can't see them anymore.
You motherfuckers. Let they come back. What did these guys look like? What do these guys look like? The head guy was a half elf.
Yeah.
What was
The rest were
like?
human, I think, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
The other 6 were human. Some male, some female.
Mercenary.
Riding horses, very mercenary looking. So, obviously wearing sword belts. Some had swords over their back, some on their hips. Daggers. Some had bows. A couple had crossbows. Wearing cloaks, riding clothing. Some had armor underneath their clothing. Not really any uniforms or anything.
What was his physical description? Like his features that I would be able to describe to someone else if I were asking about him.
He seemed probably in his mid-30s. Let me see if I have a good description here. Charming features.
Okay.
Does it give me anything else? All right. So, yeah, he just has brownish hair. He did have it cut so that his ears were showing, so he obviously was not hiding the fact that he was a half-elf. Very confident posture. Was brownish short hair. You couldn't really tell much else in just the torchlight. Clean shaven.
Clean shaven.
That's about as
I
much
look
as you
at-
could tell.
I look at Sadiri and I tell her to keep an eye out for them. I don't think they'll try anything.
Yeah,
But
she
they
she
might
does
come back
she does a whistle
before
and she sends some hand signals to the guard tower, and then the guard tower you hear a whistle back, and it's a little bit different whistle than the alarm. You guys are starting to pick up a little bit, like you're recognizing what the alarm whistle was, and you hear like more of an answering whistle, and he's kind of watching, them head to the south. The person up on the tower right now is Torum Breck.
Orm. Okay. I make my way down and I convene with the group.
All right, let's while you guys are thinking about that, let's take our first break of the evening. Maybe our only break. We'll see how it goes. And we'll come back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see, my clock says 29. So we just hit the 8:30 mark. Let's go ahead and be back here at 8:40. Everybody can fill up their drink and use the restroom, and then we can come back to some adventuring. I'll splash it to the character screen real quick. I'm going to go ahead and cut off audio. We'll be right back.